What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Blythe and I'm gardening in Zone 8A in Eastern Georgia. And today I wanted to take you guys around to give you a tour of the April in-ground garden here. So as you can see, there's not a lot going on this time of year. We just hit our last frost date a couple weeks ago, our estimated last frost date a couple weeks ago. Our last frost was actually back in early March, which is super early for this area. So we've just kind of been like waiting to see what was going to happen with the frost, to see if we might have gotten a surprise frost. But I did do some hopeful planting in the garden, and everything's fine, so it worked out. But we are just going to go around and kind of show you guys. All the seedlings are kind of coming up right now. And I have a few transplants in the garden, and I have a few more to plant, but I just wanted to record this for myself and for you guys so you can kind of get a good idea of what your garden could look like around this time of the year here in Eastern Georgia. Let's get to it. I also have a kitchen garden here on the other side of the in-ground garden, which I would love to do a separate tour for that, to kind of give you guys a look at how that's doing versus the in-ground garden, and just kind of like not to make it like one huge long garden tour, and kind of be able to break it up a little bit for you guys. So as you guys can see, I've got 5 arch trellises on the front of the garden this year. I've landscape fabriced the entire thing because I'm not dealing with weeds this year. And then I also have a tunnel that is totally falling apart, but I'm using the structure for trellising and also for a little bit of protection, animals, sun, all the things. So let's just get started. I'll just go by each section and show you guys what we're growing. So starting off right here on the first arch trellis, I have some turkey gizzard beans that are coming up, and these beans were given to me by a client of mine, and they are a bean that have been passed down throughout her entire family. So they save the seeds, they replant them, save them, give them away, all the things. And she gave me some. So this is actually my second year growing them. The first year she gave them to me where I didn't really have a plan for them, so I just put them somewhere and let them grow enough to where they dried, and I saved the seeds from those pods to be able to plant them again this year and plan for them. So I've got those up against this trellis here, and I saved room for a honey drop cherry tomato, which I think will be so pretty to grow on the trellis, on the back side of the trellis here. Right next to the trellis along the edge here, Callie, I've got all different types of sunflowers, and I'll put on the screen all the different kinds that I'm growing, but they are doing really well. I'm very happy and I'm very excited, and I also have some growing that I saved seeds from last year, which is kind of a new thing for me, seed saving. I haven't really done a lot of it, so it's really exciting to be growing a bunch of stuff from seeds that I saved. So going to the opposite side of the trellis here, I've got Blau Hill beans, which are purple bean, all along the trellis here. And as you can see, I do like super close with my spacing. One, I don't have a lot of, I don't have the room that I would like to have for what I like to grow. So I just kind of stick things and see how they do. I did the spacing like this for these beans last year, and they did really well. So hoping that they're gonna do the same thing again this year. They're so pretty. I love the dark green leaves and the purple veining on these. And I also have them growing on the other side of this trellis as well. And then I have Chinese python, snake bean that are about to come up. I can see some tiny little sprouts happening there. So right along this part of the trellis, I have a bunch of zinnias. So this is all different types of zinnias growing here, and they are coming up. And I do seed very heavily because I always get scared that things aren't going to germinate, which they always do. But I have to go through and thin a lot of these seedlings that you're going to see today, but they just started popping up over the last week. So I'm giving them a little bit of time, seeing what's coming up and what's not. And then hopefully if there's anything that hasn't come up, I'll be able to transplant anything that has multiples. If not, then I'll just go back and reseed something in that spot. So I'll pop up on the screen all the varieties of zinnias that I'm growing this year. And then coming down here, so we've got sunflowers, zinnias, and then back here on the back against the tunnel, I have more zinnias, and these are the Persian carpet zinnias, so they are a little bit shorter. But I've had terrible germination. There's only like 6 seedlings that have come up. So I'm not really sure what I'm gonna do about that. At least, well, actually, it looks like we might have had something eat seedlings. So I might need to be getting some pest control out here. But I've got a couple, so I'll kind of like spread those out and see what we can do about kind of getting all the rest of these spaces filled in. So moving on to the other side of this trellis, this is the Blauhild beans and the python snake beans here. Zinnias on this side, and then on the other side on the trellis I have center cut squash growing here, which is like a vining tromboncino, smaller tromboncino squash. So I can see I've got a couple of different ones and one that did not germinate, so I'll probably thin that one, bring this guy in here at some point. Also on this trellis I have a kiwi plant that I've probably had for 5 years now. I think it's a hardy kiwi from what I can remember. And you're supposed to have 2. You're supposed to have a male and a female to get fruit. And one of mine died, and I don't know which one it was. And so I transplanted this one here last year, and I am hoping that it flowers so that I can try to identify the flower and see if I have male or female, and then find a mate for this one so that I can get fruit from it. But since I transplanted it here last year, I'm just leaving it until I can identify it. I'm not trying to transplant anything else. It's probably going to take over this entire area. I was kind of trying to plant something that wasn't going to take over as much, but I'm not really sure how it's all going to look. So we're just going for it. We're going to trust the process. This is already huge, so I can only imagine throughout the season that it's going to be even bigger. So it's exciting though. So this row right here is not planted. It is already has the holes in it for peppers and eggplants and then ground cherries. I'm doing these on this row and that row over there and in the back. So those aren't planted yet. It's not quite time to plant those out yet. I am hoping to get them done in the next few weeks though, because our temps are looking excellent. So that's what's going there. That's the plan. Right back here next to the zinnias, I have sesame, and it is doing so good. I'm definitely gonna have to come through and thin these out. A couple of them, this one didn't come up, so I'll probably try to grab one from here and see what happens. But all the other ones have at least one in them, and I only did 5 of them. I've never grown sesame before, so this is kind of an experiment. But I'm super excited. So we're back at the kiwi. We're going to the other side of this trellis. So we're in the middle trellis here. So we have 1, 2, and 1, 2 on that side. This is the middle trellis. Right here we have Canada crookneck squash, which germinated wonderfully and already has true leaves on it, which is super exciting. I absolutely am so joyful when I see seedlings coming up Like, I sit there and anticipate, and I'm like, are they just not gonna come up this year? Like, are they gonna come up? Like, what's gonna happen? And they always do, and I'm always just like enamored with how amazing and how cute and precious they are, and how fast they're gonna grow. So we've got the Canada crookneck here, the kiwi. Like I said, this is peppers here, and then on the other side of the trellis we've got honeyboat delicata squash coming up, and it is doing well. Pretty much, yeah, 100% germination on this, it looks like here. So I've got to go through and thin that. And then on the other side of the trellis I have candy roaster squash. So I grew this one last year, and I only produced one because I had insane vine borers, squash vine borers. They were crazy. So I am doing the most this year. These guys just popped up. When I thin them out, I'm spraying them with BT and putting diatomaceous earth on them. Like, I'm not risking it this year. I have so many squashes that I want to get this year, so we're not risking it. We're spraying with BT. We're gonna stay on top of it this year, and we're gonna get some squash. So on the opposite side of this trellis, I've got Aote green flesh squash. I think I have five of those, which they came up nicely. I'm really excited about that. And then I also have some honey nut squash, which is, I literally only had 2 seeds left, and they both germinated, and so I'm really excited. I love the honey nut butternut squash. It's so good. On this little weird row here, I've got dahlias on the end, so they're just starting to peek through here, you can see, which is so exciting. I have some experiments. I have some from tubers that I saved last year. I'll put everything that I have up on the screen for you guys. Everything that I know of that I have. The other ones that are experiments are seedlings that I grew last year from Floret. They're the Floret Dahlia series that they put out. And I actually had some more seeds this year, which I'll show you guys those in the kitchen garden tour, that I have more dahlias that I'm growing. So I'm really excited about that. The ones from last year, I didn't tag and I didn't name. So it's kind of a little bit of a surprise again this year. And I've really done my due diligence in making sure that I have these tagged. I'm going to be taking pictures, documenting everything so that I can make sure I know exactly what I'm growing in the future, anything that I want to keep, anything that I want to cull, and make sure that we're getting all that information written down. So, and this is also why I'm doing these videos, because I want to make sure that I know exactly what I'm doing, and I'll be able to come back and see and be able to tell exactly what dahlias I have. So all those dahlias here, and then right here I have spaced out for some Lisianthus that I'm going to be transplanting later. And then starting here, this is so sad, this is the saddest part of the garden, I have some stock that I transplanted, and it was so beautiful, and it is just it is so sad. It was not happy. I mean, everything was hardened off, but it did not like getting transplanted. I think I'm gonna buy some more seeds and just try to reseed. I don't think it's too late at all to direct seed stock. I think it'll be fine, but I do want to get more of the same seeds that I have, which is Kino Mai, Vintage Brown, and Iron Blue, which the Iron Blue actually did the best at transplanting. You can see there's a lot of green there, but yeah, I think I'm gonna get some more seeds. Anyway, if I don't use them this year, I'll be able to use them next year, so might as well get some more. Right here I had like 5 spaces left by the stock, so I direct sowed some larkspur, which I'm not super hopeful about because I did cold stratify it, but I have heard that it is not the best for our summers here, and that it likes cool summers, so we'll see what happens with that. I don't see any germination yet. Next to that, I've got popcorn. This little area here, I'm sure you'll hear me talk about it a lot. I went a little bit trigger happy with the kitchen torch. So after doing that, I realized they were way too close together. So I ended up just planting my corn kind of like in every other hole, kind of sporadically. So I'm starting to see them come up. Yeah, so this is Dakota Black Popcorn. That is super exciting, and that is at the end of the dahlia row. And so I'm gonna stop here and go back to the front and then walk you guys down the other aisle. So here we are on the last little aisle. This is where the dahlias were, the Aote green flesh squash on the other side of this. And here we have Kajari melons. I am so excited. My favorite melons are all popping up. And then on the last two here, I've got golden honeymoon melon, which I'm really excited about. And I have tried to grow this before and it has never worked for me. So hopefully this year it'll work. I just keep trying. On the other side here, I've got Cajo watermelon and Royal Golden watermelon, which is, there's some green in there. This one's starting to come up, which is super exciting. I'm happy about that. To see, it'll be able to vine on here. They're more like personal sized. So across from the dahlias, I have some eucalyptus that I started from seed and I did transplant it, and so it went through some serious shock, but it is doing much better now. So yeah, that's doing well. And then all down this, the rest of the way, I have seeded some like filler flowers and different things like that. So right here, I've got Bells of Ireland, which some of them are coming up. Got some that I can transplant if I need to. Next to that, I've got Seeker Rose Status, and it is coming up as well. Back behind here, I've got Lilano Sweet Glow Watermelon, just to be able to spill out of the garden, and it is starting to come up. Next to the Seeker Rose Status, I have Blue Didiscus, which I don't see anything germinated for that yet. So I'm gonna go back and do some research and see if I did it wrong. I'm pretty sure I already used all the seeds. So if it doesn't come up, I'm gonna have to figure out something else to put in this space here. But back behind that, I have Moon and Stars Watermelon, and that is coming up as well. So next to the Didiscus, I have Carmen Pink Baby's Breath, and ooh, little cricket. So excited. It is coming up, and I think I have one or so in each one, so that's really exciting. Back in the corner here, I have Rose Gold Celosia, and these are transplants, and they are transplanting well, so they're looking really good. Have them in the corner and then to here, and then from here over, I have Pink Gin Foxglove that I started from seed that I transplanted, and I just kind of tucked it back in this little corner here because it is a biennial and it will flower next year. So we won't get any flowers from this year, but hopefully it'll just be chilling in this back corner until next year, and then we'll be really excited next year. It'll bloom for us. Right here along the back side of the tunnel, I have a bunch of different echinacea. I'll put up on the screen what they are. I have some that I planted from last year and then some that I started this year and transplanted. So those won't bloom this year, but the stuff from last year, the bigger stuff you can see, will be blooming this year. So that is so exciting. Transplants are actually doing really well too. So I'm excited about that. Grass. Here in front of the echinacea, I have a few more Rose Gold Celosia transplants, and then I have Flamingo Feather Celosia that I direct seeded. So you guys can see that. And it's coming up as well, and that goes all the way to the corn here. So that's it for everything out here that's not undercover in the in-ground garden, and so I'll walk over to the tunnel and show you guys what's in there. I also have a little volunteer sunflower growing in my mulch that I scraped out from last year, and maybe a little zinnia there. So I'm leaving it. It'll be in the way, but it don't matter. This is the tomato tunnel. Last year I had peppers, eggplants, and ground cherries in here, and they did incredible, but I just kind of wanted to mix it up this year, and I wanted to use all of my cattle panels for arches this year to kind of maximize space. And so in here, I said in a different video that I'm doing the Florida weave method, which is not what I'm doing. I don't really know what the method is that I'm going to be using, but I'm basically going to be stringing up the bottom of the tomato and hooking it up to the top rod up there. So, and then like twisting it around. If you guys know what that method is called, let me know in the comments below. But I've got tomatoes spaced out every other to next to each other. I kind of just, it's all over the place. But I wanted to show you guys the tomatoes. I do have another video on the varieties that I'm growing. I'll link it down below for you guys. These are doing really well. I transplanted these out I think close to the beginning of April, so they've been out here for 2-3 weeks now, and they are doing wonderful. So this is Moonlight Mile. Look how pretty that is, guys. Oh my gosh, these are going to be so pretty. And then I also, oh look, a little volunteer pepper. Hi buddy, sorry, but you're probably not going to make it. Maybe, we'll see. So I have some spaces left in between a lot of these. I've already seeded summer squash and zucchini, which I'll list exactly what I'm growing for those. I have some thinning out to do. I think this is the Zephyr squash, so that'll be growing in between, and the tomatoes will grow up tall, and I'll be pruning those, and then hopefully these will stay kind of low. So I think it'll be a good system. I've not really done a lot of companion planting, and I'm really trying to do a lot more of that this year. So if you guys have any tips for that, please let me know down below. But I am also going to be planting marigolds and cilantro in here, as well as nasturtium. I'm not sure how many of each I'm going to do, so I'm kind of just like, that's what I would like to get in here, but we'll kind of see what happens. And then I am also reserving a couple of spots at the back of the tunnel for my peach reaper peppers. I don't know if peppers do well with tomatoes, but I have a 2-year-old. I want to make sure that it is in a tucked away area so that she doesn't just willy-nilly come pick peppers. Oh, you guys, look. I've got my first tomato bloom. That is so exciting, you guys. Oh my gosh. It looks like a little fused one too. This is on my Fallon's First Snow. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. See, this is why we do garden tours, so we can capture the first tomato bloom excitement on camera. And this is one of my variegated ones too, and it's kind of losing its variegation a little bit, so we'll see how long that takes. That's the thing with variegated tomatoes, is that they tend to lose some of their variegation. I try to keep the ones that have like the most variegation in them, but it's just kind of inevitable. I'm not really sure how that process works, but they do typically end up just going green at some point. But they are really pretty in the beginning, so, and it just brings me joy, so that's why I do it. I wish you guys could smell it in here. Like, it smells heavenly. It smells just like fresh tomatoes in here. It is so good. Like, I might just be keeping my tomatoes in the tunnel just because like it's containing the smell, and like I just want to come in here and smell the fresh tomato smell. Go back here. Here's some more squash coming up, some more volunteer peppers it looks like, which is fine. I'm fine with it. Look how beautiful these look. These are looking so good, so healthy. I did have a little bit of a mishap with a cutworm. I had 2 Brandywine tomatoes down here that my sister gave me, and something came and took them out. One of them was like pretty much destroyed, so I couldn't do anything about it. But I do have one that I saved that was like just completely sliced, like at the base, that I have in water, and it has a couple roots growing, which I'm hoping that I can kind of salvage that. It's still pretty little, so I'll show you guys. Also, just wanted to show you guys real quick. I had onions in this tunnel last year, and I thought I pulled them all up, but there's some onions here, so that's kind of exciting. I think there's there's a huge one down here, just kind of like growing off the side. So I'm gonna let it grow, see what happens. So just real quick, this is a Gerber daisy my daughter picked for me. I just stuck it in this water with the tomato. But you can see here, it's pretty little. This is the Brandywine, and it's got some roots. So probably gonna try to stick it in some soil and see if it will make a comeback. But for now, it is just living in this water with this Gerber daisy. So I am losing light now, but that is the end of our in-ground garden tour video. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Please subscribe if you like this kind of content. I love making this kind of content. I love gardening. So if you do too, we have that in common, and I hope you stick around. Be on the lookout for my kitchen garden tour for April coming out next. Thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your day.